All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the State of the Lakers podcast, coming to you on a Friday afternoon. Lakers just got a really good W over LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets, 105-116 at Staples Center. And I got the good homie Martin here back again to talk about the game. How's it going, man?
Man, I'm doing well. It's good to talk to you. It's good to talk to you, especially on this little win streak that we got going, man.
Nice little four-gamer, dude. All that kind of doom and gloom that seemed, it was like a couple weeks ago. And look at us now, dude. Four-game win streak and 1.5 back of the one seed.
Right, exactly, man. And things are really looking up. We're not even close to full strength, and like you said, just
Not
so
even
close to
close, bro. We're missing our
so
defensive captain, and our defense is
right,
still looking like it's still whooping teams' asses.
and so close to the first seed. So yeah, really good point.
Yeah. So I actually wasn't able to catch the full game. I only caught the first quarter, the fourth, and I kind of missed the middle. So, Martin, you were able to watch most of it. Why don't you tell us what went down?
Yeah, man. Really excited for this game. Obviously, one couple things that jumped out was excited because I wanted to see LaMelo. He's just been ever since he got into the starting lineup, just been on a tear. And then the comments came out about, is he excited to play LeBron? And he just said like, no, I'm not. Like I just play. And I didn't take too much into that quote. Like,
Which is
I
fine for
mean,
me too. I mean, he
yeah,
doesn't want to suck LeBron's dick. I get it.
right.
He
He's
wants
not.
to do his own thing.
And I know LaMelo is a big has watched LeBron his whole life, and he's a big fan. Like I didn't have a problem with that. But as far as like the game, it was exciting for a couple of those factors. Charlotte's a good, fun team that I hope makes the playoffs. It'll be nice to see them. And as far as the game, defensively, that's what stood out to me. We played
Mhm.
some lockdown defense. LeBron was really in control the whole game. And Dennis Schroeder, I got to give a shout out to him because offensively, he made some big buckets. He's been, kind of struggling with his layups around the rim and his mid-range jumper that he takes. And I
Hitting the front
expect
rim a lot on those threes. Like he's coming up
right.
short on them.
So I kind of know what I'm going to get from Dennis defensively, but offensively he's been kind of struggling. So and he was huge for us against Charlotte. He was making a lot of plays. Good game by Montrez, and it was really nice to have Caruso back. Man, I'm glad his concussion isn't, I'm guessing, too serious. We needed Caruso, man. Glad to see him back out there.
I know it's good to get a really good defender like Caruso back in the game. What do you think of LaMelo? What do you think of his performance first time against LeBron and the Lakers?
I was impressed, man. I texted you at halftime, I think it was. Um, I texted you and I said, "We got LaMelo in jail, man." Right? And
Yeah, I was like, "What's
and
going on?" You're like, "This man's in prison, Guantanamo
dude,
Bay."
we were just harassing him. So shout out. It was Schroeder, Kuzma, LeBron, KCP. They were just harassing him, and it's like, okay, like you're really good, and you're going to be, but you are a 19-year-old in the NBA. Like they're, and then man, I'm looking at his box score right now. His final line: 26 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and he shot 10 of 18 from the field. So in the second half, he started to make some threes, and he's a beast, man. And he's going to be. It was really fun watching LaMelo.
Yeah, is he a dead eye 3-point shooter, or is it kind of like inconsistent like Lonzo? I mean,
Well, I
this
mean,
game it seemed like he was sinking them.
yeah, I mean, his his shot definitely looks a lot more cleaner than when Lonzo came in. Lonzo did the whole kind of around the world thing when he
Yeah,
first came from UCLA and Chino Hills, but Lamelo's looks a little bit just better off of his. It looks fluid, and I think this year he's above 35%, which is that's pretty good, especially for a guy that's like a 19. He just is in control of the game. Um, he kind of just always goes at his pace. And I was just impressed at the way he came out in the second half because in the first half, we really did like lock him up. He had no breathing room. He had He couldn't finish around the rim. He got no good looks. And then, like I just told you, his stat line, he finished with 26. So LaMelo's he's going to be a star.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to hear that we locked him up in the first half right there. Dude, LaMelo was making some pretty good, like some pretty weird shots. I remember in the fourth quarter, game was kind of decided, but he did this drive to the rim and he kind of like did a move or two to throw the defender off him. And then on one leg, kind of falling back, kind of just throws a backwards falling little floater fadeaway. And I'm like, I've not seen that shot, and I don't know how long. That was a kind of weird, just like make your own shot up kind of thing. So he, like Lonzo, he seems to have that really good feel for the game, and just likes to have fun out there, which is great to see in a guy like that.
Yeah, it is. He has that's a good point about like his shots. He will make some really weird, funky shots. Yeah, he's got really great touch.
Yeah. One thing I did notice about the Hornets, and you were texting me about it too, they just compete, dude. They played hard as hell. And this is a national TV game for them, I believe. It was pretty big, but despite them not being as talented as I'd say most teams in the NBA, dude, they just play hard. And maybe that's a shout out to the coach or just a shout out to the mentality of the players. Terry Rozier was getting buckets, man. I saw that. But LeBron did some pretty good defense on him. This was a really good game for the LeBron first team all defense or defensive player of the year case.
Yeah, it was.
In the fourth quarter, dude, he was locking people down, man. It was amazing to see. Like, he got a couple really good blocks on Rozier. One was called for a goaltend, and then we looked at the replay, and no, it wasn't a goaltend. He got.
Yeah, that was a bad call. That was a bad call, just straight up.
I know. I remember as that play was going down, he blocks it, and then it gets called for goaltend, and then LeBron was like, "Hold on a sec." He, stands in the middle, hands
He's
on his
looking
pitch,
at
and
the
he
big
looks up
screen,
at his
right?
ceiling, and I'm just waiting for him to react like an angry
Right.
soccer mom. I'm like, "Oh God, what?" I was just
Right.
waiting for that, and he did it like the moment right then, and then they just cut to commercial. I'm like, "Ah, shit! I wish we could have seen him get more mad." I love seeing him get mad at the refs. It's so funny. But LeBron's defense in the fourth, man, was really good. Really good case for his defensive player of the year and whatnot like that. One play that really stood out was one of those blocks on Rozier. He gets the block and then he kind of falls out of the play. He falls out of bounds, but he recovers really well to the three-point shooter. And I think it was Rozier who got the ball back at the corner for a three, and he just recovered really well. So well that Rozier couldn't even get a shot up. He just hesitated, and I think the Hornets didn't get a bucket that possession. Do you remember that play happening?
Yeah, that was a really important possession. His blocks, I mean, I should say just his defense in the fourth, it was like outstanding. And first they called the goaltending, which was a bad call because on the replay you could tell that he blocked it and pinned it against the backboard. I remember the play you're talking about where he recovered against Rozier. It was a good game for his case, and I think like it's pretty like obvious that he should be getting the first team all defense recognition this year because we're still number one without Gasol and Davis, playing good defense next to Anthony Davis, that's one thing. He's one of the best three defenders on the planet, but he's doing it without him. And so that's why it's so impressive. And that's why I think he should be, because we're still number one defense and we don't have Anthony Davis.
I know. And he's really doing it extra, just both sides of the ball now, because he's usually carrying the offense, but with AD gone, he's got to step in and be that defensive tone setter, be that defensive captain.
Right.
So this has been a really good, even for his MVP case, this has been a really good.
That too. Mm-hmm.
And with Embiid getting hurt too, I think he was kind of starting to fall into the consensus number one. But with him getting hurt, it's going to be a little bit more up in the air. So, I mean, I think you could argue that he deserved the MVP last year, but this year, I think he really has a better chance at getting it.
And I think he's also. I was just gonna say, like he also like he could say whatever he wants, but he definitely feels slighted. That Giannis got it last year and he's only missed one game this year. Like LeBron is for sure going for it, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. As long as he's healthy, right? Don't overexert yourself. But I do think he's right 1, 2, or 3 in MVP talks.
I know, yeah. I just hate seeing a guy get an MVP award and it means most valuable player. So you think like, oh, best in the league. And then the playoffs come around, which is the most important part of the year. And then people choke. And then it's
Right.
like, why the fuck do we, why are we still doing the MVP award only for the regular season? I
I
mean,
know
this
it's
is kind
pretty
of a common talking
frustrating.
point, but I always just go back to it. Why not have a playoff MVP or make the playoffs count for the MVP? Because shit, it seems like the winners always choke every year. And I just want to see people who get that get it deservingly so. Especially
I agree.
Giannis, defensive player of the year last year. Do you think he would have gotten it if they saw how his season ended when he didn't want to, step up and defend Jimmy Butler when he has the tool set to do so? Would have loved to see, Giannis on Jimmy. That would have been who knows, that might have even like changed their chances and stuff.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I feel like I don't know why it hasn't happened, but I feel like it'll never happen. It's always just going to be a regular season award. And I think we just got to accept that. Something I was thinking, dude, if Dennis didn't get hit with those COVID protocols, we'd have that 1 seed pretty comfortably because we're only a game and a half back now.
Yeah. And I mean, Dennis being out, but the thing is, like, that's why, like, I'm so encouraged and excited because I hope Gasol is just okay.
I thought we'd be suffering a little more with Gasol out, and we're holding up.
I thought we would definitely have been, like you said, taking a bigger hit with Gasol out. I hope he's all right. Get well, Gasol, and obviously AD is not going to play until April, right? At this point, we know he's not going to play until April.
Probably mid-April, yeah. So like
right,
another month of this.
At least that probably the second week of April, and that's me being optimistic, right? So, along those lines, we're a game and a half back, and I still, if they get the 2 seed, that is totally fine. Like it's gonna come down to, let's just be real, the Clippers, Jazz, Lakers, right? Obviously, along the way, you got to beat who's in front of you. But without Mark Gasol and AD and Schroeder and Caruso missed games with his concussion and his ankle, and they're right there. They're right there.
I know trade deadline's coming up too, so I wonder if a team like Denver is gonna make a move, try and get into that.
Oh God, bro! Let me just say something about Denver real quick.
Go for it.
If because you brought the trade deadline, so it made me think about it. And like, I'm looking at Harden on the Nets, right? And he is just like, I really thought he lost his step in Houston, and especially after
he was
that
saving
bubble.
it for somewhere else.
And he is just playing. I give credit where it's due. He's playing out of his mind, right? He's playing great. But the reason I'm mad at Denver, it's like, bro, if you had a chance to get James Harden, why didn't you do it? Michael Porter Jr., I don't know, a couple of picks. And if it costs Murray, then Murray got to go. And then now James Harden next to Jokic, like, I don't understand these teams like Denver not pulling the trigger on a James Harden. Now you fucked around, and we got to go through Brooklyn. That's going to have Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden. That's just my piece on Denver. I'm glad you said that because the trade deadline, I feel like they had an opportunity and they just didn't do it. What do you think?
I think you hold on to Murray because he's shown some really promising stuff. But I mean, it's debatable when it comes to Harden. MPJ, I think you got to be a little less gun shy on. I've talked with like some other writers who I write with at Crown Hoops, and they're Denver fans, and they really like MPJ and his potential, and they don't want to trade. I'm like, well, what about for someone like Bradley Beal? To me, that's like clearly yes, 100 times out of 100 I do that. But I think they said something to the effect of like maybe, and I'm like, I don't know. I would definitely make that.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just everyone's going to have their own opinions about the value of a player and the projected value of a player in the future, and I get that. And Murray is really good. He is good. I just if there's one chance while Jokic is as good as he is right now, Jokic is clearly a top 7 player in the world. Getting him with Harden, who's also a top 7 player in the world. But maybe I don't know like how the trade talks went. Maybe there was never even a discussion. But it
That's
will
always
be
the thing. We never know how these went down.
I really
don't.
don't.
Counter offers where it's like, so we can make all these predictions, and it's like we're really in the dark though. Would be cool to know, what the hell the trade talks were that went down. But Yeah, with Denver, I think they're still kind of lurking. They got a really good playoff experience last year. I think shit, 2-3-1 comebacks, that's valuable shit in terms of, your self-concept, and if you're in another hole again in the playoffs, you're like, we've done this before. We could do this shit again.
Mm-hmm.
With with Denver, I still think they could probably get in that upper echelon if they're not already there. One real quick thing about this game, I liked how I was looking at just the stats, and I liked how everyone on our bench went positive and plus minus. The only positive person was LeBron in this Hornets game. He went +7. He had 37 points and 8 rebounds and 6 assists, though. So just monster fucking game from him. But
Yeah.
Kuz had 12 points and 5 boards. He was +5. But you go down, Harrell was +16, and he was only 2 of 6 from the field. He only had 7 points. But our boy Wes Matthews, who we love to dump on, +13. But he only had 3 points, so we can still dump on him from that. Bruce had +10, Horton Tucker +16. Our boy THT, man, 12 points, 5 and 9 from the field.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for actually bringing up the bench. Because that's a good point. They, like you said, all was 5 guys that played off the bench, all plus in the plus minus. Montrez, he missed like a lot of bunnies, and he still ended up being a +16. That's huge. And Wesley, he is struggling. He was a brick, but dude, I got to give Wesley credit.
He was a brick, but hey, he was good defense though. That's something he can still hang his hat on, at least lately.
Right. He made 3 clean strips, man. Like I'm talking like just straight up like stole it from the guy's chest.
I saw that. I saw one of them. I think he stripped from LaMelo, and he just got it and he fell back, and then he just threw it. He passed it from the ground to somebody. Great.
Yeah. Wesley just at least 2 times just ripped it from a guy's chest. And I was like, all right, man, like I think Wesley will get his legs, and eventually you got to make these open shots. Like it is what it is. Like that's why you're on this team. But I'll take that energy and the active hands on defense. If you give me defense every night, then I'll live with a couple, the off night shooting. And Markieff Morris, man, that's someone that I think really needed the All-Star break. He's playing with some
back, dude.
He's got some bounce. He's playing pretty good defense at this point of his career. He's just not a defender, but he's playing hard on D, and
he's hitting his shots.
And he's making shots, right? Markieff isn't on our team for defense. That's those days of him playing D are gone. But he's on our team to, make the shots, like you said. And I think All-Star break, he needed that bad. He's definitely looks a little bit more bouncy, a little bit more juice.
Yeah, with his defense, I think you could use him in a matchup like, say, if we're going against PJ Tucker, someone kind of stocky like that and not exactly quick. So I think in the right matchup, he can still be useful defensively for sure. But with AD coming back, dude, that makes his role on defense much easier. And especially the perimeter guys, too. They can kind of be more aggressive with the rotations and, like gamble on steals and whatnot because they know they got AD to fall back on. So we're still looking pretty good despite all this shit, man. The All-Star break did us well, just like we've been talking about in the weeks leading up. Like, just make it to the break. Just make it there. And here, look where we are. We got 4 straight wins after it. Things are looking up, dude. We got the Hawks on Saturday. You got any predictions for that one?
I mean, another good, fun young team that I hope also makes the playoffs. We got to deal with Trae Young, who's going to shoot probably 18 free throws. I mean, Atlanta's going to be tough. Just a sidebar in this game. I wanted to ask you. I know how big of a Lakers fan you are, so I know like you watch a ton of games, right? So this game on Saturday is a 12:30 tip-off. Mateo, I've been watching the Lakers my whole life. I cannot remember the last time we played on a Saturday at 12:30 at home. Like
very rare, dude.
Is this like the most? I'm serious. I'm drawing a blank, but like a Saturday game for the Lakers at home on 12:30. That's just something I just wanted to point out. I feel like other people are going to notice too when we play on Saturday. Very, very weird start time.
And I wonder if because sometimes the start time affects the way they play. Because I remember on these early Sunday games, shit, dude, if they start at like Yeah, I only remember games being that early on Sundays in like a regular year.
Sunday, right? And it was always like prime time TV, right? Like maybe ABC or something, or maybe ESPN.
Exactly.
Um, on a Saturday, I cannot think of the last time we played a game at this time on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't recall either, but it's also just that weird COVID year. Just like make these games happen, do whatever it
I
takes.
know that's what it is.
I think we'll take care of business against the Hawks, man. We're in a groove. We're looking pretty good. Um, I guess look for Kuz, look for the bench guys to keep playing well in that game. You got any final thoughts, Martin?
Um, I guess my final thought is that yeah, it's really encouraging to see this 4 game win streak. Even if it was, we're beating solid teams. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a grind, man. This schedule, we talked about it, in text, and I think a little bit here. It's going to be a grind. So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is rough, bro. The games are still condensed. We're still getting a lot of back-to-backs, but we're also getting like a top-level opponent, like probably once a week.
Right.
It's
At
it's
least
gonna
I'd
get
say
it's
once
gonna
a
get
week.
right.
Yeah.
It's gonna
At this
get to be a
point,
really good
once a week
grind.
you're playing, yeah, a really good team. So it's going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, man. Anyways, always appreciate you hopping on, brother. We'll talk soon.
All the way.
All right, take it easy, man.
All right, man. Peace.